Good evening, guys, and happy Sunday to all of your sunshiny faces. Guys, I am like a hot mess because I sort of rolled out of bed this morning, went in the living room to watch the Bears game, and I have not really come back in my room literally almost at all today. I did come late in the afternoon to grab my my Mac, just so I could finish up my Jewel list real quick. Like I told you guys, I was working on that, but there was just the Just For You coupons that I did on my phone, but I didn't actually like finish doing it on like in the list part, so like I didn't send the list to myself, so I ended up finishing that, and I came in here to get my Mac and put my Mac back in here. I think that was the only point in the day when I was actually in my room, so I didn't even come back in here to fix my hair or do my makeup. Like my hair is the same way I pulled it up from last night, and I've left it this way since. So yeah, today was a lazy day somewhat for me. Watched the Bears game, and actually while we were watching the Bears game, we were going through a box of like baby clothes. Like my mom way long time ago when we were little used to sell clothes on eBay, and then there was also mixed in like a lot of our baby clothes too, so we went through a whole bin of that, which we started to sort of get into while my dad was like while we were going through all the clothes that were on the floor in the attic anyway, from them Jack just threw in there that were like all of his and Matthew's clothes. So we went through all of that. Then we ended up going through another, I think 3 boxes, so 4 boxes in total of stuff. 2 of them were pretty small boxes. Like there was the one big one that was full of clothes. It was like a big tote. Then there was another like pretty decent sized box that was filled with just all kinds of random stuff we have not touched in 16 years because I remember this box. It was covered in like wrapping paper, like baby wrapping paper, because it was the same box that our church organized like a diaper drive for when Jack was born. And the box, like I said, it was like all decorated like cutesy, like I said, with you know, the wrapping paper. And they organized it, and then, you know, we brought the box home with all the diapers. So we still had the box. Then when Jack was born, because he was born premature, and so my dad ended up just sort of to clean up the house threw sort of everything in this box a little bit, because we were having just like stuff he didn't really know what to do with, because my mom was actually in the hospital prior to actually giving birth to Jack, and so like for like a couple weeks before, and so she like, you know, like again, there was stuff that was just sort of left by the last time that she was in the house, and my dad was like, I don't know where to put this. And we had a friend come over to clean the house, like dust, like she was a cleaning lady, and so we had her come over and like paid her to like clean the house, because also Jack was premature and like, you know, germs and dirt and everything like that too. And because my dad was working, my grandma was like trying to help keep the house clean and babysit us, but my grandma also worked, so we also were like at different either friends' house or babysitters, or like I remember staying over at my aunt's and uncle's house like for like a day or two, I think, and then, you know, and on top of that too, we were also homeschooled at the time, so it wasn't like, oh, just pick them up from school, or like, you know, just somebody stays overnight. Like my grandma would stay overnight, I think, for the most part sometimes, and then like drop us off at like the friend's house or whatever. Like I remember that sort of happening sometimes. But anyway, so yeah, like I said, my dad sort of went to like clean up all the things that he sort of didn't know where they belonged or whatever. So like my mom's purse was in this box from 16 years ago, and like I think it was actually maybe one of her old purses, but she hadn't like gone through it or cleaned it out or anything like that, so it was literally like it was a purse that she just randomly stopped using. There was still like, there was Jewel preferred card in there, and apparently too, I don't remember this, there used to be like an Eagle, like I guess that was a thing that was around here too, grocery store. My mom was like, oh, do you remember that? And I was like, I remember Cub Foods, Aldi, and Jewel. Those were the 3 places I ever remember shopping at. I don't remember shopping at an Eagle. And then the Cub Food ended up actually turning into the Ultra Foods, like years later. So anyways, but yeah, like I said, like she had like that kind of stuff in there. Like the preferred cards, they have been done being used with, like they haven't used preferred cards in like years at Jewel, like probably at least maybe close to 10 years now, probably. And so it's, like I said, been a really long time. But there was that, there was all kinds of other stuff. There was a box of unopened Similac formula in the attic that was like completely sealed, but I was like, this is 16 years old, that's garbage. Then there was another box that was sealed and we had no clue what was inside of it, and we were like, my dad is like, I'm scared to honestly open this. It was sealed with like you know, we knew the Similac was formula because I said it like on the box and everything. That was like decorated, a picture, you know, that kind of stuff. But this other box was just a box with taped over it. My dad's like, I'm sort of scared to open this because we've been finding totally random stuff. Again, it was just stuff that like my dad went to go like pick up so that again we could have the friend clean the house. And so it was just sort of things that were like in the living room, or like I said, stuff that was left out or whatever. And my dad opens it up and he's like, oh my gosh. And I was like, what? Like, I didn't know what it was. It was a box of Tupperware. Brand new, still sealed. Again, the box was still sealed. It was all in like the plastic wrapping and everything like that. Tupperware from a Tupperware party that my mom must have gone to like right before she ended up in the hospital having Jack. That maybe like either one of her friends had, because I don't think she hosted a Tupperware party. She did a couple times when I was little, and I'm sure that maybe sounds a little bit weird. Like, I don't think Tupperware parties are actually that common anymore. And so, but my mom, like I said, I remember her throwing at least one or two, I know, at our old house. And then maybe she threw another one here, but again, she probably wasn't in the mood to throw that one at the time. So I think that maybe it was somebody else and she ended up ordering stuff. But it was actually like 8 cereal bowls with like Tupperware lids, 8 of these little snack like Tupperwares, and then these 2 like lunch, like sort of like almost like a bento box sort of. It has like a spot for like a sandwich, like a big spot in the middle, and then like 2 little things on either side. Like one was a little bit bigger and then the other 2 were like a little smaller. So stinking cool. But again, I was like, and it's like a little bit outdated Tupperware now because it's 16 years old. We ended up finding brand new Tupperware in the attic that we didn't even know that we actually ordered, which is funny because I asked my mom, I was like, do you remember like ordering it or going? And she's like, I can't remember specifically, like 16 years ago going into a Tupperware party. She's like, I probably did, but like, yeah, it had our shipping address and everything on there. She's like, I must have gone. Like, it had like the thing inside the box and everything like that, like the packing instructions, you know, sort of thing or whatever. And like what we ordered, like the receipt. And yeah, all this stuff was there. My dad was like cracking up. He's like, that is something that would happen to us. We ordered this stuff and 16 years later, Jack was like, it's like Christmas. You guys could just wrap it up and put it under the tree and forget about it by Christmas. And then just be like, wow, we got Tupperware for Christmas. So yeah. But that was what we ended up finding in the attic. And then again, we ended up going through old school papers. There was a box of school papers that clearly it was Matthew and Jack's. They ended up just throwing in there from the 2016-2017 school year. Went through that, and then I had a box of stuff that was from when I was like in 6th and maybe 7th grade. And it was mixed in with like some of Matthew's stuff from when he was in 6th grade, because when I was in 7th, when I was in 6th, he was in 2nd grade. So I think there's some stuff mixed in there too. So we ended up saving like some of the school papers and things like that. But yeah, we ended up going through a lot of that stuff. I'm really hoping there's not more papers. Papers are the most daunting and annoying thing I feel like to go through. But some of the other stuff I am actually like, wow, that's cool. Like, I like going through it. So yeah, we've given away honestly several bags to Goodwill. We've been recycling all the papers and then like throwing out any of the other stuff that's like broken or whatever. But we've gotten rid of several bags of stuff. Like I said, at either of those, like we already, I think clothing wise, because again, I like did another 3 loads of laundry today to try and wash all the stuff that we've been finding that are like people's clothes that actually still fit, or stuff that we are giving to Jack's friends' family because they have a couple of younger siblings, or he has a couple of younger siblings. He has 1 sister and I think 3 younger brothers. And so like the younger sister, I was like, some of my clothes that were like maybe from when, again, she's I don't actually know, maybe like 5, 6 years old, something like that. But so some of my clothes that like I found in the attic that, like I said, were tucked away and I didn't even know were up there, and I hadn't gotten rid of, you know, because they're still up there, and stuff that was maybe more still in style a little bit, like just like t-shirts and stuff like that. So like we can give that to her too. And then also too, if it was like maybe not totally in style, my mom was like, just let them make the decision, like if they wanted to keep it or not. Because again, like some of the stuff was like, you know, again, several years old, so it's not like it's gonna be brand new stuff, but it's like hand-me-down clothes. So, and then anything else that my mom is just like, that's really far gone, or, you know, again, won't fit any of them, or is like girl stuff, like little girl stuff, or yeah, like anything like that sort of, or just other things too, like books and stuff like that we've been finding, we've been donating that stuff. So like I said, we've gotten rid of, I think we took 2 bags, I think, already to Goodwill this past, was it this weekend or maybe last weekend? I think we took 2 bags. But yeah, we've been like going through a lot of stuff. So tomorrow I will have a grocery haul for you guys, Jewel and Aldi, and then I'm probably going through more school supplies. I'm probably going through more boxes in the attic. Hopefully it's not more school supply paper stuff. But yeah, we've been going through a lot of that. So like, and it's easy too, because like my dad just comes downstairs, brings a box, and then we just wind up going through it, because again, there's a lot of, like, me and Matthew did a lot of organizing up there, but the specific side of the attic that my dad is working on now was not that side of the attic that me and Matthew ended up touching. And then on top of that too, my mom, I feel like, is maybe a little bit more in the mood to actually like want to go either go through this stuff or actually like want to part with some of the things, because before she was like, I'm not getting rid of that, I'm not getting rid of that, I'm not getting rid of that, and it was like, but we're not even like using some of this stuff either. Like, you know, like I said, I'm sentimental about certain things, but other things I'm like, I can let that go, like, you know, whatever, it's fine. But I felt like when me and Matthew were going through the attic a while ago, we would just leave anything that was hers and be like, okay, we'll just put this in a box or whatever, and like leave her stuff. Or if she was like, I do want to keep that, you know, we would wind up putting that back up in the attic. But it was, we weren't really like going through it together as like a unit, I feel like, and we have been recently, which is good, because like I said, it was just sort of me and Matthew going through everything up in the attic before, and now it's like everybody's involved in it, so everybody can be like, you know, we can just ask, we'll be like, oh, is this yours? Yes, it is. Okay, do you want it? No. Okay, we can get rid of it. Like Jack's school supply, or Jack's school papers and stuff like that. Like he had a whole math like workbook up there, and I was like, do you still want this? And he's like, no, I don't. I was like, do you want any of these papers from science class? He's like, no, I don't. So we're like, okay, we can get rid of those. It was cool too, because I remember one time when I was in maybe like 7th or 8th grade, one of my friends actually, like at the end of the school year, she invited us over for a bonfire, and it was actually to burn whatever school papers that you're just done with for the year. And I thought that was really cool, like to just sort of, again, like important stuff, not, you know, but if it was just like, oh, like notebook sheets of paper and stuff like that that had workbook text stuff, you know, that kind of thing, where it's just filling in blanks and stuff like that. That's the kind of stuff like that we were getting rid of, or like recycling and stuff like that. But like no papers that had like stories we wrote, or drawings and colorings and stuff like that that we did, we were saving and hanging on to, or like projects and crafts and stuff like that. But if it was just like, oh, here's like a workbook sheet and you just filled in like blanks and stuff like that, my dad's like, get rid of that kind of stuff. But I thought that was really cool what she did. And then she invited everybody over to also like, you know, burn, you know, whatever papers they wanted to, which I think was only like her and maybe one other person. But then she was like, you guys can just throw this stuff in the fire too, because she didn't want it anymore. And I thought that was really cool. Like I said, I didn't, like, I never thought of that, like at the end of the school year, like to just be done with it, you know, like you just burn any of your leftover, you know, in a bonfire, and have a bonfire in the summer then. So yeah, like sometimes I feel like it's useful sometimes to hang on to school papers, especially like I guess while you're in that school year, obviously, but then like once you're done, sometimes I feel like it is useful. Like I remember going back sometimes and like looking over stuff that again, like I learned the year before or whatever, because maybe I need to refresh my memory. But sometimes the teachers would just give you stuff that they were like, oh, like, you know, at the beginning of fall or whatever, we're like, oh, just do this worksheet, you know, if you're not doing well on it, it's because you don't remember the material for last year, whatever it is. But yeah, like I said, sometimes that's why I think I saved my stuff. I don't think I ended up burning any of mine, because I was like, I might need to go over some of this stuff like math, you know, because that builds on other things. So yeah, like I said, that was kind of cool. I actually think that like that's a cool thing to do, and like I should suggest that to Jack maybe even too. Like you could just burn all your school papers and have a cool bonfire and sort of like a like finish the school year, kind of, sort of like a like end to the school year sort of thing. You just like, you know, do that like cleansing sort of, and you just get rid of all your school papers. So like I said, I thought that was kind of cool, but yeah, I ended up just recycling most of mine right now because I waited too long and now I need to get rid of them. But anyways, I am going to take a shower and get to bed so that I can get up to go to the grocery stores. We're going to hopefully go early in the morning because again, my dad took off work for tomorrow. So I will see you guys all in tomorrow's vlog. If you guys did enjoy today's, make sure you guys give a big old thumbs up. If you guys are new, we'd love if you'd subscribe, and I'll see all of your sunshiny faces tomorrow. So bye guys.